Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of my ongoing series, Roblox Myth Profiles. In this series, I talk about various Roblox myths that don't have enough information to make it onto Roblox Myths Explained. A lot of the myths featured in this series are usually chosen by me, but will occasionally feature myths suggested by my viewers. Special thanks, as usual, to the Myth Community Wiki for providing all of the information used in this video. As always, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe to the channel so that I know you drink water. Also, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button next to my name. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The first myth that I'll be talking about is a Roblox user that goes by the name of LainStream. LainStream is a Roblox myth that is best known for his game, LainStream. I'll be going over this game later, so just know that. It is hard to get a story from LainStream since his profile doesn't give out anything. Why? Well, because the description status doesn't say anything. Anyways, LainStream's story dates all the way back to January 6, 2019, so over 2 years ago as I'm recording this. He soon began working on what is his signature game, LainStream. The game was made on the same day his account was created and was last updated on January 9, 2019, 3 days after he joined Roblox. So not much has happened to the game since it was last updated. LainStream was last online a few months prior to this video going up. LainStream's appearance currently consists of a light blue head and limbs, a purple torso, olive green legs, and a shirt that goes by the name of Tree. I'll come back to the shirt later in the video. In my opinion, LainStream's avatar is very simple and stands out if no one else is wearing the same outfit. It's so simple that it becomes easy to replicate this avatar, but the shirt isn't for sale, so one would have to recreate it and upload it onto the Roblox catalog in order to do a full remake of LainStream's avatar. And I don't think anyone will be willing to go through all that trouble. Other than that, I like LainStream's avatar. I give it a 7 out of 10 for being pretty colorful and somewhat unique. I would talk about LainStream's personality, but he hasn't been seen in game, so I can't say anything at the moment. As mentioned before, LainStream has one game at the time of recording this, which is LainStream. The game was made on January 6, 2019, and was last updated on January 9, 2019. Since then, nothing has happened to the game. Because I can't, I'll be talking about what can be found in-game. So, the player spawns in what looks like an island with a purple hue. In front of spawn, there's an abandoned structure with a statue of what looks like a guard. However, it is slightly below ground level, which means that it's running away, just like my list of things to do each day. I honestly find it cool how the entire island is purple, just because that's not normal. Anyways, there is a boat next to the spawn that doesn't seem to do anything. If you walk around the island, one can see that there are a lot of abandoned structures. One of these structures contains a distorted version of the Mona Lisa. This could mean anything as far as I'm aware. Also, there is another boat in the distance that can be seen. Other than that, there's not too much that can be found in the island, other than a clock that is laying on a pile of rocks. In my opinion, LainStream is a pretty interesting game that you should check out for yourself. There is one theory about LainStream that might have a bit of merit to it. So, without further ado, let's get into the theory. The first and only theory is that LainStream is a runaway from somewhere such as a cult. The first piece of evidence is that the description of the game suggests something regarding a runaway. If one looks around, they can find that the description of LainStream simply says runaway. This might allude to the fact that LainStream is a runaway. The second piece of trivia is that there are multiple people in the water, which suggests some kind of group related to LainStream. This piece of evidence is questionable as I couldn't find any people out in the distance away from the island or in the water. If I missed something, make sure to let me know in the comments below. The third and final piece of evidence is that LainStream has brought a few essentials with him, such as a clock that can be found on the island. If someone brings these kinds of items with them, it can mean that they're either running away, moving somewhere else, or wanting to start over. There isn't that much trivia, but I'll include it regardless. As one might know, trivia is just extra facts that are relevant enough to make it onto the video. So, without further ado, let's get into the trivia. The first piece of trivia is that LainStream translates from Indonesian to other stream. It is unknown if this is related to the game at all. The second and final piece of trivia is that the shirt that LainStream himself wears is one of the trees in his games. There's not much else to say about LainStream other than that their myth is underrated and deserves more attention. The next myth that I'll be talking about is a Roblox user that goes by the name of Graled. Graled is a Roblox myth that is best known for his game, Cored Woods, which has gone through several changes during its existence. There is a family tree that Graled is a part of, which I'll briefly go over right now. So, Graled is the father of two Roblox myths known as Cranius and Lutherinia, and is also the brother of a myth known as Manitoba. This will make Manitoba the uncle of Cranius and Lutherinia. Anyway, Grail's story dates all the way back to October 7th, 2015, so over 5 years ago as of recording this. He created his signature game, Cordwoods, the following day and was last updated on August 20th, 2019. Since then, not much has happened on Grail's account. In fact, they were last online between 9 and 10 months prior to recording this video. It'd be good if Graled went online more often so I can get more information about him. There is some more that I want you to know about Graled before going forward with the video. So, what do you need to know? Well, as mentioned before, Graled is the brother of Manitoba as well as the father of Cranius and Lithuania. He is mourning the loss of his son and hates Manitoba for this. According to the lore, Graled was born on October 7th, 1990, which will make him 30 years old if he were a real person. His place of birth is in Athens, Greece, which makes him Greek. As mentioned before, he had 2 kids whose names you already know. However, Graled murdered his wife due to an argument as well as his daughter for whatever reason, so we can conclude that Graled is a murderer. There's not much to Graled's appearance, but I'll talk about it regardless. His avatar currently consists of a peach head and arms, yellow legs, a maroon torso, the default Roblox face, the messenger boy hat, and the all-seeing eye t-shirt. In my opinion, Graled's avatar is pretty simple yet looks clean. What I mean by simple is that there's not that many items on it. I would say that one can recreate it, but the hat the avatar was wearing is no longer on sale, as well as the shirt, making it harder to do a remake of the avatar. Because of this, I give the avatar a 9 out of 10, since it looks very clean and pretty good for a lack of items. Regarding Graled's personality, he is known to be calm and friendly towards others, which is a good trait to have. Whenever possible, he also defends friends that he is close with. None of this changes the fact that Graled is a murderer, but I personally don't care since he didn't murder anyone else. As mentioned before, Graled has one game at the time of writing this. The game is Cordwoods, which is also his most popular game at the time of recording this. As mentioned before, Cordwoods was made on October 8, 2015 and was last updated on August 20th, 2019, so nothing has happened to the game in over a year. Since I am able to, I'll be talking about what can be found in game. So, the game opens in a menu that gives the player the option to play Cordwoods. Keep in mind that the campfire shown in the menu screen actually appears in the game, but I'll go over that later. Anyways, the player will spawn in front of a house that contains a few things. Immediately upon entering, there are 3 doors that one can choose. However, only 2 of them are accessible. When one chooses the right door, one can see a small living room with a sofa, a TV, a couple portraits, a lamp, and a window. There are also some stairs that lead to the 2nd floor of the building. Even though there are several doors, the one on the right is the only one that is accessible. This leads to a bedroom that contains a bed, a bedside table, a lamp, and a painting with a Mona Lisa. The bed contains a model of Graled sleeping, which doesn't seem out of the ordinary. Going back to the entrance hall, the player can walk to the door in front of them and it'll lead to a kitchen that contains a lamp, a fridge, a photo of Graled and his family, a few cupboards with a radio and a photo of Graled, and a stack of shelves that probably store different things. Apparently, it is possible to shift lock and see below the stairs. Obviously, there is nothing down here. There are a few trash bags outside the house. Let me know in the comments, how many of these do you think contain dead bodies? I'm curious. Anyway, something is different when you go back to Graled's room. When you enter, one can see that there is now a black demon thing staring down at a sleeping Graled. This is creepy and will have significance later. When one goes back downstairs, the wall below the staircase has writing that says open the gate. As one sees, there's a path that leads away from the house and ends in a gate. One can't go past the gate, however. Anyways, it seems like there isn't anything that interesting. That is, until fire becomes visible in the distance. Going towards the fire will lead you to a campfire, which is actually the same one that's seen on the game's menu screen. This isn't the only thing that can be seen here though. After waiting a bit, one can see an NPC that looks like a Native American walking around in a certain pattern. Not gonna lie, this actually got me when I saw it for the first time. Anyways, going back to the path, you can continue walking down the path towards the gate, but keep in mind that a demon will be chasing you the entire time. I don't know why, but it took me so long to realize this, as I only found out when I was near the gate. Don't worry, as nothing terrible will happen when the demon touches you. Of course the player will die, but after this, the player will be teleported to a game called Dissension. This game doesn't contain much, but it still does tell a part of a story. The player spawns in a Parthenon-shaped building that contains a light, and the demon figure is seen looking at Graled's character. Other than that, there doesn't seem to be much else to the game. In my opinion, Cordwoods is an interesting Roblox myth that you should explore. It certainly had a few surprises that got me, which made the game even better. There isn't a lot of trivia about Graled, but I'll talk about it regardless. As one might know, trivia is just extra facts that are relevant enough to make it onto the video. So, let's just get into the trivia. The first piece of trivia is that Graled eventually killed his brother, Manitoba. This gave him some closure since Manitoba killed Graled's kids. Anyways, the second and final piece of trivia is that Graled was a philosopher. For those of you who don't know, a philosopher is someone who studies the basics of knowledge, life, and why we exist. So Graled asks why humans are even alive. There's not much else to say regarding Graled other than that he should come back and reveal some more information about his myth. The third myth that I'll be talking about is a Roblox group that goes by the name of the Reds family. As implied by the name, this is a family myth, which means there is quite a bit of information one should know about them. Anyways, the Reds family is a Roblox myth that focuses on several members who I'll be going over in a bit. The Reds family is a newer myth being started back in August of 2020. Because of this, there won't be a lot of information available at the moment. Anyways, the story of the Reds family dates all the way back to August 28, 2020. So over 5 months ago at the time of recording this. This is the day that the myth's first account and current owner, fatetrail made his account. Two important characters, ALNXRed and tetrared, will join Roblox the following day. These three accounts are the most important ones when it comes to the Reds family myth. Sometime between August and September of 2020, the myth's group, the Reds family, would be created. You should go join this group if you want to. The third oldest account in the myth, Red, joined Roblox on September 1st, 2020, so either less than or more than 5 months ago at the time of recording this. Fellow Reds family member Red would join the following day, and Red would join Roblox on September 4th, 2020. The last person blood related to the Reds family, Red, joined Roblox on September 5th, 2020, which was also the same day I reached 1,000 subscribers. This is not everyone associated with the Reds family myth, however. The Reds family's gardener, Peter Gizma, joined Roblox on September 14th, 2020. The final account associated with the Reds family myth at all, Reds family BBQ contact, was made on September 25th, 2020. From what I can gather, there's a lot of accounts relating to the myth. There is also some lore that one should know about the Reds family, as it'll help people understand the story better. So, an event happened where the Reds family house burned down and a few family members, specifically Red, Red, and Red, died during the event. This means that there were only 4 members of the Reds family that are currently alive. Also, Peter Gizma has been having problems as of recently. Let's just say he's not doing the best mentally. The Reds family also believes in a godlike entity known as Axolotl Black. Why they believe in him is unknown at the moment. That's all of the lore that is available in the moment, but expect more to come out in the future. The Reds family has a group that contains a majority of the myth's members. The group itself was made sometime between August and September of 2020, making it a newer group. It currently has over 124 members at the time of recording this. The group also hosts the myth's games, which I'll go over later. As of recording this, the Reds family group is owned by ALNXRed. However, he is just a group holder. The group is also allied with one group, which is the Chessboard Cult. I talked about this group in the previous episode of Roblox Myth Profiles, so go watch that to learn more about it. Other than that, the Reds family group doesn't contain too much. As mentioned before, the Reds family has one game at the time writing this, which is the Reds Family Home. It is also their most popular game, with almost 1,500 place visits at the time of recording this. The game was made on September 3rd, 2020, and was last updated on January 27th, 2021. As a part of BryanCerrosRBLX tradition, I'll be talking about what can be found in game. So, the player spawns in front of a door inside a house. Right next to this is a table and a photo that shows a recreation of the "Do You Are Half Stupid" meme. The character in the photo is ALNXRed, if anyone was curious. One can continue down the hall, which leads to an open room with a few things inside of it. The first thing is a sign that says "Bombastic Breads." This is a reference to the Reds family love for bread. There is also a couch and a lamp and a TV that's showing a technical difficulty screen. There is a door that leads somewhere, but I'll talk about that later. Anyways, there is also a second floor that doesn't contain too much. Right after going upstairs, there is a pad that contains 3 buttons. Each of the buttons are colored to represent the 3 main members of the Reds family. I know that clicking any of them does something, but I don't remember what. In the same space, there's a table with 3 seats. I just felt like including this since it's there. There is also a door at the end of the room, which I'll also go over later. Anyways, the door downstairs leads to the backyard, which contains a campfire, a few trees, and an entrance to the basement. I've been down there before, but I don't exactly remember what it contains. The campfire is a nice little area for hanging out with other people. Also, one can leave the house via the door next to the spawn area. There isn't much to see here, but it's a fun little thing that one should know. Also, the door in the upstairs area leads to a small room that contains a coffee mug, another TV showing the technical difficulty screen, and a refrigerator that contains nothing. While writing the script for this video, I realized that this is supposed to be the kitchen. Anyways, other than that, there doesn't seem to be much else to be found in the game. In my opinion, this game is pretty cool and one that you should explore. There is a bit of trivia that one should know about the Reds family. By now, you'll probably have an idea of what trivia is. So without further ado, let's get into the trivia. The first piece of trivia is that the Reds family has collaborated with another Roblox myth known as a lone chess piece. I covered this myth in the previous episode of Roblox Myth Profiles, so go watch that if you haven't already. What do I mean by collaborate? Well, I mean the two have been creating games together and doing a crossover. In fact, they've already reworked the Reds family household game together. I'm honestly excited to see what else the two myths create together. The second and final piece of trivia is that the Reds family gained traction through Roblox YouTuber BryanCerrosRBLX. Because of this, their myth gained a bit of popularity and started developing a fan base. There's not much else to say regarding the Reds family other than that they're an underrated myth and should get more recognition. The fourth and final myth that I'll be talking about is a Roblox user that goes by the name of fatetrail. fatetrail is a Roblox myth that is best known for being related to Doomswind, a fellow Roblox myth. Along with this, fatetrail is also known for his game Represent and for being a part of the Roblox myth group Subtraction. Based on all of this, fatetrail is one of those Roblox myths you have probably seen but didn't know about. fatetrail's story dates all the way back to March 2nd, 2019, so less than 2 years ago as I'm recording this. This is the day that he made his Roblox account. fatetrail soon began working on Represent that same month. The game was last updated on January 25th, 2020. It is unknown as to when fatetrail and Doomswind became affiliated with each other. fatetrail soon joined Subtraction sometime in 2020 to pretty recently. fatetrail was last online between 7 and 8 months ago at the time of recording this. So he's been active and inactive again and again. Regarding fatetrail's appearance, his avatar currently consists of black arms, a black right leg, a pale red left leg, a pale red torso, and a black head. He also equips the blocky head, which makes his character look funny. I personally think this avatar is a bit too simple, but this is not the only case of an oversimplified avatar in the Roblox mid community. It does stand out when in a crowd of Robloxians, which helps in a couple of ways. I give this avatar 6 out of 10 because it looks funny. I do think it could use more clothing though. There would be a section about his personality, but he hasn't been seen or recorded in-game, so I can't say anything at the moment. As mentioned before, fatetrail has one game at the time of writing this, which is Represent. It is also its most popular game, with almost 5,000 place visits at the time of recording this. The game was made on March 30th, 2019, was last updated on January 25th, 2020, so over a year ago as I'm recording this. As one might expect, I'll be talking about what can be found in-game. The player spawns on top of a hill, albeit the area being very dark. There is light on the bottom of the hill, which the player can walk down to. Here, a few pillars can be found as well as a book on the floor. Next to this area, there's an opening that leads inside a big cave. One can walk down the cave and will run into a lit up area. The left wall contains a group of symbols, whose meaning is unknown at the time of recording this. On the ground, there are a few goblets as well as a book that is on fire and a giant rook piece. I honestly don't know as to what the burning book may represent, no pun intended, but I do believe that this is where someone practiced a religion such as Satanism. The evidence for this is the goblets I mentioned earlier, as well as the book, since it could contain anything. Other than that, there's not much else to say regarding Represent. In my opinion, it's a pretty simple game that has the potential to contain a lot of lore and hidden secrets within it. There is only one piece of trivia regarding fatetrail, which I'll talk about. So, without further ado, let's get into the trivia. The first and only piece of trivia is that fatetrail is one of 2 people to have the Washington rank in the Subtraction Roblox group. The other person to have this rank is Doomswind. This makes sense since the 2 myths are affiliated with each other. I might feature Doomswind in a future episode of either Roblox Myths Explained or Roblox Myth Profiles. I won't hold my breath though. There's not much else to say regarding fatetrail other than that I think he's an underrated myth and along with all the other myths in this video should get more recognition. fatetrail should also go online more often so that we can get more lore about his myth.